Good morning, Minister Casey, fellow panel members, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue. Gouet. It is a pleasure and a privilege to present the results of the Education Review in our report, Disrupting the Status Quo, Nova Scotians Demand a Better Future for Every Student. As you know, this is the first comprehensive review of Nova Scotia's school system in 25 years. The panel was asked to engage Nova Scotians to find out what was working in our education system and what needs improvement. When we first embarked on this journey, we knew that this was going to be a challenging task. After all, the education system is very complex. We created several avenues for people to share their feedback, including a survey, email, phone line, and letters, as well as formal submissions. We made it a priority to provide an equal opportunity for all Nova Scotians to give their input, and I believe we were successful in this regard. But what we did not anticipate was the tremendous response from Nova Scotians. More than 19,000 people answered the call for feedback and ideas. They shared their experiences and their frustrations. They shared their strengths and their concerns. For 9 months, the panel has been immersed in collecting and discussing the knowledge and the insights from Nova Scotians from all walks of life. We heard from students, parents, teachers, school administrators, community members, and business leaders. We heard from people in all areas of our province and from many cultural groups. The results are not acceptable. 50% of Nova Scotians are not satisfied, and they voiced a large number of concerns about an education that has changed very little in the past 50 years. The status quo is not an option. However, there were some areas that Nova Scotians said were in fact working well. The panel heard over and over again stories about individual teachers who are doing wonderful things in the classroom. We heard schools are often welcoming places and that they are centers of care in our communities. We heard that Nova Scotians believe in a public system that is free and accessible to all. But Nova Scotians also identified many areas that need improvement. With such a high level of participation from Nova Scotians, the panel is in a very strong position to identify the issues that government and the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development need to address most urgently. The report focuses on 7 areas of the public school system where a compelling case can be made for change and are of the greatest concern for Nova Scotians. The first theme is that we focus on the need to strengthen the curriculum to transform teaching and learning. Only 55% of Nova Scotians who completed the survey felt that the current curriculum is focused on what students need most. Many teachers, parents, and administrators and students express the need for fewer outcomes and more time to master the key areas of learning. We recommend that math and literacy are the focus in the early elementary school, with health, science, and social studies and other curriculum subjects to be integrated into that curriculum. We recommend more engaging and relevant options in junior high that better meet the developmental needs of students. We recommend filling critical gaps in the junior and senior high curriculum, and we recommend an effective strategy for educational technology. Having a manageable provincial curriculum that focuses on the right things will be key to ensuring student success. The second theme in the report is the need to make high-quality teaching the norm in every classroom. While many Nova Scotians have shared wonderful stories about teachers and classroom experiences, it is clear that this is not the case in every classroom. Teacher education, certification, hiring, professional development, performance management, and discipline were all cited critical as areas for improvement. Nova Scotians also clearly expressed the need to prepare today's students for tomorrow's opportunities, which we included as Theme 3. Students need more support transitioning into and out of the school system, as well as progressing from one grade to another. Many Nova Scotians feel students are not ready for the workforce and post-secondary learning when they graduate from high school. Policies must reinforce the importance of job and life competencies. The need to ensure the right pathways exist at the right levels, planning for life after high school, and concerns over the practice of social promotion were all top of mind for many Nova Scotians. The panel also received much feedback about inclusion. Nova Scotians support the principles of inclusion, but we heard over and over again that it is not working in its current model. 4 in 10 agree that special programs and services are meeting the needs of all students. Inclusion is a relatively new approach in the history of public education. In the absence of appropriate levels of support, however, inclusion has introduced a new layer of complexity to the classrooms, and teachers are struggling to effectively meet the needs of all students. Therefore, Theme 4 focused on the need to ensure that inclusion is working for everyone, with suggested options to explore for greater success with inclusion. Schools are often the centers of communities, and one of the areas that Nova Scotians cited as a strength was that schools are generally welcoming, safe, and have positive climates. However, there is work to be done. Respect between students, teachers, parents was all a common theme, as was ensuring that schools are welcoming and reflective of cultural groups. Theme 5 focused on ensuring schools are creating a positive climate for learning. The most critical message that we heard from Nova Scotians is that creating a positive school environment is a shared responsibility that requires all staff, all parents, and all community partners to work together to model respect and to take action against bullying and violence in schools. Theme 6 is to collaborate to improve student health and well-being. The role of the school has expanded much over the years. Not only are schools expected to ensure students succeed academically, but issues like obesity, mental health, career planning, and health and well-being are now all the responsibility of schools. The need for more physical activity during the school day was a frequent theme in reports, survey comments, and in emails that were received by the panel. Schools cannot do this alone. If, as Nova Scotians have expressed, we want our schools to continue being centers of care, many organizations and government departments need to work together and actively engage in providing the necessary support. Our last theme is the need to build a modern-day structure for teaching and learning. Little has changed in the structure in schools in the last 25 years. There are many demands and many expectations on the system in response to emerging needs, but we have only made incremental changes in our approach to funding, how we staff schools, and how we deliver services to children and youth. Many Nova Scotians are concerned about the impact of these increased demands on the classroom. Schools and supporting structures need to think differently in order to become more effective and more efficient. For example, we have asked questions. Do we think the right number of school boards are in place to serve the province? Is the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development staffed with the right number of people? Can boards share more services to ensure that funding is benefiting the classroom? All of the education partners need to look at the efficiency and the effectiveness of the model. The status quo is not working. The time for change is now. In addition to the 7 themes, the panel included 30 recommendations for the minister to help provide her with the direction to create a better education system for all of our students. We prepared the recommendations as a guide to help the minister determine the best approach to address the complex issues. We took a holistic approach to the entire report. The education system is vast and extremely interconnected. Changing one part of the system can and will have an impact on many other areas. We do not believe that one theme is more important than another, or that any recommendation is the magic cure. Our recommendations are intended to guide the development of the action plan, not to form the plan itself. What we do believe is that the education system as a whole needs to be changed. Our recommendations are to help guide that process only. Government will need to think differently and to work diligently to create effective change. And it will take time and dedication from not only the department, but from many education partners to ensure the very success of our goal. Every area of the system must work together with what is best for students, with their needs and interests always top of mind. Our students' future depends upon it. They deserve the very best education that we can provide them. It has been a privilege for our panel members to assist the province of Nova Scotia in charting a course for change in our public school system. We thank Nova Scotians for sharing your feedback with us. We know that Nova Scotians are indeed passionate about the quality of learning and education that our children receive. Before concluding, I wish to acknowledge the extensive work by my fellow panel members, Gordon McGuinness, Donna O'Connell, Tina Dixon, Kyle Hill, and Mike Henderson. Minister Casey, on behalf of the Minister's Panel on Education, it is our pleasure to present you with a copy of the report, Disrupting the Status Quo. Nova Scotians demand a better future for every student. And I present it to you for your consideration, and I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Over the next couple of days, the panel will be available to answer any questions from the media. And now the next part of our journey begins. Government and the department, under the leadership of Minister Casey, will need to determine how to move forward. Minister Casey, the panel wishes you much success in tackling these very challenging issues. It is truly an exciting time for our panel, for education in this province, and we are confident that under your leadership and direction, bold and necessary changes will be made to ensure a strong, a sustainable, and a successful education system for our students. And now the panel members join the public in looking forward to your action on these very important issues raised by Nova Scotians. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Myra, for your dedication and your commitment to this particular assignment that I had asked you to lead as part of the Minister's Panel. I do want to acknowledge again the members of the panel, Gord, Mike, Donna, Tina, and Kyle, for the hundreds of hours of work that you folks put into something that Nova Scotians obviously feel a need to have addressed, and you have given your time to help set the direction for the future of education in our province. So I do want to thank you for that. To the members of the media, to my colleagues, I see two of my colleagues from the legislature here, Kevin Murphy, MLA Kevin Murphy, who is Speaker of the House, and MLA Pat Dunn, who is the education critic for the opposition. I welcome you here. I appreciate you coming here, and I will acknowledge MLA Dunn is the, as I said, the education critic. He's also a former educator, so we do have a lot in common as MLAs and as educators. So welcome and thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to accept the final report from the Ministers' Panel on Education. This report helps fulfill the commitment our government made to Nova Scotians when we took office in October. When my government announced the review, it was originally intended to be a curriculum review. However, it quickly became evident that issues in education were too interconnected and far-reaching to be limited. It is the first time the education system has been reviewed comprehensively in 25 years. For the past 9 months, the panel has been working diligently to ensure that government has the direction it needs from Nova Scotians to improve the education system, and they have dedicated hundreds of hours to that review. I've been involved with the education system for many years as a teacher, as a school board administrator, and now as minister. And when I hear that 50% of Nova Scotians are not satisfied with the education system, I know that it's time for the change. The themes outlined by the panel today are consistent with information I receive from Nova Scotians, from our education partners, in any conversations that I have. Nova Scotians have spoken, and I am here to tell you that they have been heard, and their views will shape the next phase of education in the province. And as our chair has said, my work now begins. In the coming days, I will review the report in detail and consider the information and recommendations that have been provided in it. I have also arranged for meetings with the Partners Advisory Group, who were briefed along with stakeholders on the report, and also the Nova Scotia School Boards Association, so that they can provide feedback. I will also be meeting with the president of the Nova Scotia Teachers Union, Shelley Morris, next week. As their membership, our teachers will be an important part of the change. I will take this report with the thoughts and views of Nova Scotians and form an action plan that I intend to release early in January. As Ms. Freeman has indicated, there is no easy solution. However, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the things that the panel did in their hundreds of hours. They developed a strategy for collecting input from Nova Scotians. They designed an in-depth online survey. They did many events and media interviews to engage the people of this province, including students in our own classrooms. And members of the panel did go to our schools, did engage students, and did hear information that is very important and often overlooked, and that's from the end user, and that was the student. They reviewed the responses, and they spent hours in meeting rooms, on conference calls, and in their own homes, developing the themes and writing the report. I want to say thank you again to the panel for that dedication. Your work will make a difference in the public education system in this province in the future. I would also like to thank the many Nova Scotians who took the time to share their thoughts, their views, and their experiences. And as we have heard, it was over 19,000 Nova Scotians responded in some way to our call. That sends a very strong message that Nova Scotians are interested in public education. They do have an opinion, they do have ideas, they want to be heard, and they took advantage of the opportunity that we provided so their voices could be heard. As the minister, I commit to every Nova Scotian who took the time to provide feedback that I will take it, I will use it, and it will be considered when I put forward my action plan. And as I have said, that action plan is to be shared with the public in January 2015. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That concludes the formal event. I'd ask Minister Casey to stand with the panel for a photo.